As we approach the travel season, are you getting your full credit card rewards or a bait and switch? Is your food budget on fire? Firefighters are going to show us how to cool it down in a grocery bill rescue. How a couple lost $100,000 in a new twist on a home title scam. And we will visit with vintners to learn why too much of a good thing is hurting the wine industry. And welcome to Dollars and Cents. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan. This is the show to help you save money, cut costs, and make some really smart money moves. We have been gathering the best reporting from Fox stations across the country, all to help you do it. So up first, remember I told you about the new refund rules that airlines will owe you cash back if your flight is significantly delayed or canceled? Well, now some U.S. airlines are pushing back. They are suing to block the Biden administration from requiring greater transparency over fees that they charge passengers. So American, Delta, and United, plus 3 other carriers, accuse the Transportation Department of going beyond its authority by attempting to regulate private business operations. The lawsuit also argues that a new rule would confuse consumers by giving them too much information during the ticket buying process. The White House, though, says it will defend the rule as part of an ongoing crackdown on junk fees. We'll keep you posted on what happens with that. Now get ready for the busiest Memorial Day travel weekend in almost 20 years. AAA predicts nearly 44 million people will go somewhere, and that is close to the record set back in 2005. 38 million are expected to drive and 3 million will fly. The worst times to hit the road, by the way, is going to be in the afternoons of next Thursday through Monday. Now, here is a big talker this week. Are you planning to use a rewards credit card to pay for your summer travel? Have you been getting the rewards that you've earned? Federal officials have announced they are investigating what they call bait and switch schemes used by credit card reward and travel programs. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says that more people are going into credit card debt after choosing cards just for the perks that they're not always getting. Fox's Teresa Priolo reports.
How many times have you wanted to book a trip and so you thought, I'll use points, only to find out those points don't get you off the couch, let alone on the beach? Turns out that's the point.
The average consumer has no idea what they're really getting. What is the value of the actual rewards?
This week, the issue of travel rewards programs through credit card points was front and center in Washington as the Department of Transportation and the Consumer Finance Protection Board met to discuss what they call the predatory practices of credit card reward programs.
A point is worth about a penny when you're trying to redeem it. It's worth a nickel or a dime if you're trying to buy it.
The trouble comes when the airlines devalue their points without warning. It happened just this week with United, changing their partner programs and upping their mileage rates 122% overnight.
Since these programs by design often can encourage a customer to not choose the product with the lowest price, we want to make sure we understand the impact that rewards programs have on competition and market behavior.
At the Points Guy, their business was started by helping you navigate these points programs. And even they see some of the programs thrive in their lack of transparency, while the customer loses out.
If a consumer has been saving up for this dream trip and all of a sudden those points will only cover half the trip because there was a devaluation, I think this is sort of putting the airlines on notice that they have to be careful.
One more thing to keep in mind, everybody wants to acquire points, but it's a tricky game. One that doesn't work if you carry a balance.
Whatever value you're getting in the rewards is quickly eliminated by the interest rates that you're paying to carry a balance on those revolving cards.
This is all part of the Credit Card Competition Act of 2024, which aims to break up the Visa MasterCard duopoly and do away with credit card reward programs. At Newark Liberty International Airport, Teresa Priolo, Fox News.
All right, well, many students are still waiting to determine which college they will attend as those FAFSA problems delayed schools from sending out their financial aid award letters. As of May 7th, 28% of colleges still had not started sending out those offers to accepted students, according to the National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators. Others are just starting to send out their award letters after finally receiving the student financial data late. The delay is causing some students to just have to choose different lower cost schools, and some may not attend school at all this fall. Take a look. Like many colleges, the University of Houston says it has started sending out financial aid award letters to students about a month later than usual after a series of FAFSA delays.
For several weeks, we didn't know exactly when we could start the process, but now we're here, we're starting the process, and we're getting our award letters out to students and families.
UH offers admission on a rolling basis, but many colleges have had to extend enrollment deadlines from May 1st to mid-May or even June 1st. The federal application for student financial aid was streamlined, but the launch was delayed for months, followed by website crashes and a high volume of errors in student data. A survey by Study.com found many students struggled with the new application process.
47% were unable to complete the FAFSA, the initial submission, and almost 28% spent over 7 hours on FAFSA-related tasks.
Data shows 24% fewer students even filled out the FAFSA form this year. And many educators are concerned that that means that fewer students, particularly lower income or first-generation students, may not even attend college this fall.
That they may take a gap year, but gap year could be 1 year, could be 2, 3, or 4. And so, we want to eliminate that. We want to try and get students here and to start their education.
Lower enrollments could hurt some colleges financially.
This is going to impact their budgets. And, all their budgets were done, last year, and then they're going to be readjusted. But yeah, enrollment pays the bills.
While some students are simply opting for lower cost colleges, perhaps a benefit for more affordable schools.
As we've been watching our different trends and metrics, we're seeing that our enrollment is about where we thought it would be. And in many cases, we actually are increasing the number of applications we have.
So students who are still waiting for their financial aid information are advised to find out their target school's enrollment deadline. It may have been extended, and to stay in touch with the financial aid office. Tell them that you're still interested in attending, but that you are waiting on that financial aid package. And students who haven't filed a FAFSA, they are urged to do so. 85% of students who file it receive at least some aid, so it's worth it. Well, a new report says that it is much harder for people to buy the basics these days compared to just 5 years ago. Nielsen IQ has put out the 2024 Consumer Outlook. It shows prices for the basics are up more than 30% from 2019. And we all know inflation has been pretty scary. It has hit our pockets and our purses, and it's had a lot of us making different moves to save money. And now a new survey says it's apparently taking a toll on our cars, too. The poll from Pep Boys found Americans will wait an average of 4 months before addressing a check engine light. That's not good. And 1/3 of respondents will wait as long as possible before taking the car in for other repairs due to the higher costs. Repairs we are all most stressed out about are engine issues, brakes, fuel systems, and tires. All of the expensive ones, right? Well, and to deal with these higher costs these days, more people are doing what's called spaving. It's spending money to save money. And maybe you've done this, like you've bought something because it was on sale, or you buy more stuff to get free shipping. Yeah, we have all done it. Well, the problem is often what we're doing is really just spending more money, fooling ourselves into thinking that we're saving. So the trick is to really only shop for what you need, find ways to save on that, rather than see a deal and respond to it. All right, if you feel like the trip to the grocery store is putting a bigger dent in your wallet lately, you're certainly not alone. Inflation is hitting everyone, and some are just plain saying goodbye to brand names to save money. According to the Wall Street Journal, the biggest cuts are coming in the fast food and grocery sectors. Kraft Heinz reported a 5% dip in sales in the last quarter. Other companies are offering smaller size packages in order to keep their prices low. Meantime, fast food giants like Starbucks and McDonald's are seeing more people skipping the drive-thru and ditching their loyalty programs. And the idea of a one-stop shopping experience for groceries may be a thing of the past. More people have started shopping at multiple grocery stores to save money.
As inflation has sort of been heating up, food is getting more expensive. People are trying to sort of take matters into their own hands and are breaking up their shopping by going to a bunch of different stores to sort of find the best deals that they can on certain products at one, different products at the other, to sort of, take care of their budgets and save money where they can.
The Wall Street Journal reports consumers bought groceries from an average of 20 different retailers between March of 2023 and February of this year, and that's actually 23% more stores than 4 years ago. And here's an idea that is taking flight. Consumers are buying more chicken to save money. Poultry is flying off the shelves in stores and even at fast food chains. A Wall Street Journal report says that Wingstop increased sales by 21% last quarter. Retail sales of all U.S. chicken products rose 3%. Well, if you think that food costs are high in your home, imagine feeding a whole station full of hungry firefighters. Some of them are actually pretty good, though, at making great meals for less money. So Fox's Brianna Arredondo talked with some firefighters about how they do it.
At Station 46, Ryan Travis is not only a fire medic, he's also the cook for B Shift.
I enjoy cooking, so I started doing it, and I guess I never stopped.
He helps to feed 10 people, and 6 years in, it's a job that normally wouldn't be his.
When I first started working for the fire department, it was whoever was the newest guy was the cook. So once I started cooking, it was terrible. The food was pretty bad. And as newer guys came, the food was always bad. So I just continued to cook because I enjoyed it.
So when they all come in for work at Hillsborough County Fire Rescue,
figure out most important decision of the day is what we're going to eat for lunch and dinner.
What's on the menu often depends on what's on sale.
Today, the lunch that we had burgers, the meat was on sale for that, and then most of the ingredients for the chicken marsala was on sale as well, so that's why we ended up doing that. Every station, what we do typically is everyone puts in $20, and that's the food bill for the day.
Then the firefighters go to their closest grocery store in Riverview, and their cash has to stretch, especially with inflation.
When I first started working here, actually, we were spending about $15 each on food items. Now it's up to about $20.
With their grocery bags in hand, they load up, they head back, and Ryan gets started. It's a team effort to keep the kitchen stocked.
We have a thing called a kitty, so all three shifts come together and they put more money toward it, and one individual will go to a wholesale club, usually Sam's or Costco, and they'll purchase all the bulk items.
Public Safety Information Chief Rob Heron tells me that happens once a month, and it's basically their pantry.
The standard things around the kitchen that you have at home, that salt, pepper, seasonings, Ziploc bags, foil, coffee.
But their time is anything but standard.
It's got to be something that can stand up to being abandoned.
As Ryan cooked dinner during our time there, Station 46 answered calls.
Station 46, respond to traffic accident.
And sometimes it's in the middle of grocery shopping.
So a lot of times we're having to leave the store and come back, and the workers at those facilities typically know us, and they'll store our cart for us so it's there when we come back.
So they know what works.
We cook Tex-Mex a lot, tacos, taco salads, fajitas. Pastas are a big one.
Ryan says he's picked up some things along the way.
But a lot of it too is just from watching cooking videos on Instagram.
And has his favorite dishes.
Chicken marsala.
Why?
I like the sauce and the flavor, the mixture of it, all that.
And every bite is savored before they shop, save, and serve the community again the next day. Reporting in Riverview, Brianna Arredondo, Fox 13 News.
And that's why you'll also see the fire trucks in the grocery store parking lot sometimes, because sometimes they just have to go. All right, we have been telling you about the scary scam of home title theft, but now there's a new twist and a warning for folks that are looking to buy a home. The Federal Trade Commission reports Americans have lost $311 million to wire transfer scams, and those looking to buy their dream home are common targets. One homeowner told Shaw Turner at our Fox station in Denver that he and his wife saved up nearly $100,000 for a down payment, and it took a scammer only seconds to steal it.
My wife and I, spent a lot of time saving to put a down payment on a house.
But it only took a matter of seconds for scammers to steal all of it from this homeowner and his wife.
Close to $100,000. Yeah.
Like other victims across the nation, the couple received a realistic-looking email from the bank requesting the wire transfer to complete their home purchase. It even included accurate account information. But when they followed up with the bank later, they learned they'd been scammed.
Some of that stuff was happening outside of, an encrypted system, so they were able to get into emails and jump into that stuff. It was scary for us.
The FBI received more than 2,000 wire fraud complaints per day in 2023, a 10% increase over the year before.
Technology is an incredible way to save time. We no longer have to run across town with paper checks, but at the same time, we need to understand what the weaknesses are.
Real estate consultant Grant Muller says he has a firm policy when it comes to down payments sent through wire transfers.
Do not send any money unless you've heard from me or had a conversation with me.
Muller says clients should be educated about wire fraud as part of the home purchase process.
We send out wire fraud disclosures and wire fraud warnings in our emails. So we're trying to cover all of the bases. Great title companies will have secured online portals, and they'll use those portals for secure confirmations, secure communications, and that often adds another layer of protection.
This homeowner urges other home buyers to rely on person-to-person communication to verify the payment process.
This is people's livelihoods that you're messing with. People spend their whole lives saving to be able to afford a house.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, wedding season is fast approaching, and planning for a wedding can take some creativity, especially when you're on a budget. So here's one DIY trend that could really save you some cash. A Tennessee couple showed the process of planting their own wedding flowers in their garden last year. They said saving money was part of the reason. They also enjoy spending time outdoors. They spent about $300 to grow their flowers by themselves. Now, they did buy some flowers from a florist like the bridal bouquet, but they say the rest were homegrown. And being an NFL fan could become increasingly more expensive. Netflix says the platform could stream 2 games on Christmas Day. That means to watch the full NFL primetime schedule, fans will have to have access to 4 streaming services: Netflix, Prime Video, Peacock, and ESPN+. With just the basic packages for 6 months, consumers could shell out $500 to $800 per season. Ooh. And if you were in the market for a new job, you're going to want to hear this woman's latest hack to land an interview. Now, this only works when you're applying for a job online. More companies are using AI to scan resumes and determine if they should be looked at by an actual person. So here's what she says you should do. You go to the job listing, copy and paste that job description somewhere on your resume, but then change the text color to white so that it blends into the background and can't be seen by the human eye. The AI will see it and will find those keywords that it's looking for, which will prioritize your application. According to one woman who shared this trick on TikTok, she says she's gotten 3 times more job interviews. But experts say really you should tweak your resume with some of those keywords for each job that you apply for so that you actually don't have to make them invisible. Just put them in the text. All right, well, young Americans are starting out with more credit card debt than generations before them. That financial burden can have some long-lasting effects. Just at the start of their careers, they're going into debt, often just to cover daily expenses. Madison Allworth with Fox Business reports.
We haven't set a great example for these young Americans.
Deeper into debt, Gen Z is starting out with more credit card debt than any other generation before them. A TransUnion report shows the average young American has a credit card balance of nearly $3,000, a 26% jump from a decade ago.
They're really dealing with the issue of the rent to income ratio. It's out of control. Rent is too expensive for them. And so the thing that they've got to realize is they can't depend on credit cards, right? They're being marketed to, they're seeing on social media, this is the life that you should have.
Younger people with larger debt falling behind quicker on credit card payments, with some relying on their family members for help if they can't make ends meet.
We want Americans, if they have debt, we want you to focus all of your extra income on that debt so you can clear it out as quickly as possible. And then when that debt is cleared, you'll also have freed up income so that you're going to actually be able to invest far more than what you were investing before.
The report found 84% of credit active consumers between 22 and 24 years old held 1 or more credit cards in 2023. compared to 61% in 2013.
Credit cards simply are not the solution. At the end of the day, they want your payment. They don't want your peace.
Gen Zers are also more likely to take out an auto loan than millennials were 10 years ago.
A budget is not a magic trick, okay? You've got to add money to it in order for it to create the lifestyle that you want in order to make those numbers balance. And so there is a way to make this happen. And for a lot of people, it means getting extra income in order to supplement that budget.
The report shows that debt levels across all age groups are up, with credit card debt among Americans topping $1 trillion last year. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
You know, consumers are the only ones that are drowning in inflation. The wine industry is facing that challenge too. And another problem, simply too much wine. Much of the industry has been dealing with a downturn. It's down 8.7% as of last year. Fox's Tom Vacar takes a look.
Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is what Nicholson Ranch is best known for.
Deepak Galrajani has owned Nicholson Ranch Winery for a quarter century, specializing in Cabernets, Chardonnays, and Pinot Noirs.
This business has like 6 or 7 years of up years, boom years, and 2-3 down years. And I see this kind of in that same 2-3 down year.
What's the wine industry going to do? It's going to evolve.
Rob McMillan is Senior Vice President and founder of Silicon Valley Bank's Wine Industry Financing Division.
The demand is in the better wines, let's say $15 and above.
The industry finds itself in a quadruple whammy of too many wineries, too many vineyards, too many grapes, and way too much wine on the market. Add to that, Gen Zers and millennials ages 21 to 43 simply do not drink as much as older generations do. Some of them don't drink at all. And when they do drink, they go for many other choices, including hard seltzers, hard ciders, canned cocktails, and other spirits and brews.
In the wine industry right this second, there's about 2/3 that are doing, less than zero growth in sales. And then there are about 1/3 that are doing a little bit better.
In the mid-90s, the baby boomers latched onto wines, which allowed the industry unbridled growth for nearly 3 decades.
This is the time also for us to figure out how do we reach a new audience.
Gulranjani saved his business from a COVID collapse by learning how to sell online. He fostered and grew the Nicholson Ranch Wine Club, as well as made the tasting room experience more than Bay Area visitors expected. So why is wine country's recovery still slow?
It's not whether they have money, discretionary spending, so to speak. It's more their discretionary time. It's what they're using their time, which they couldn't use in COVID, to go on a cruise, to go to Italy.
Already, artificial intelligence marketing tools is helping find those new younger customers who insist also that wineries be eco-friendly and sustainable. Just as important, they must adopt easy-to-use apps for fast, easy checkouts. Most important, personalize the customer experience at all times. Tom Vacar, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And don't you just love looking at vineyards? They're so beautiful. All right, kids really don't get much financial education. That's why a former trader and a middle school teacher is teaching students the ins and outs of how to manage money. Fox Business correspondent Jerry Willis attended class.
Welcome to IS 281 in Brooklyn, New York. I'm standing in a financial literacy class. The teacher here is Raymond Tran. Raymond, good to see you. Tell us how you teach these kids about financial literacy.
So we use a Siphon Foundation stock market game. Each kid breaks them into groups. They have $100,000 in virtual money to trade stocks, mutual funds, and bonds. In fact, every day when they walk in, they come up to check out their standings. They check to see if they're going up or down.
What's going on?
I just bought 100 shares of Meta.
So that's the way this works, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you think about this, does this have more ramifications for the entire community other than just this classroom?
For sure. Our school is represented by over 40 countries in the world. Now, as a first-generation American, I was told to save, save, save. In fact, we really want to build wealth. You want to invest, 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 and that's the message we get to our students.
So I spoke to one of your students, and she had this to say. Listen.
I saw how my parents struggled coming into a new country with little to no money, little English, and I saw how hard they struggled. So I never want that to happen to me, my children, or my parents ever again.
So I have just one more question, and this is for the whole class. Do you guys like this class, financial literacy?
Yes!
In Brooklyn, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
I love the ringing of the bell when you buy stocks. I'm gonna have to try that. Okay, you know I like to leave you with something fun and a price that's out of this world. Late next year, 6 guests will enjoy a meal at the edge of space. They will be served dinner from a Michelin-starred chef in a capsule. Florida company Space Perspective is planning the trip, but it won't be on a rocket. Instead, the travelers are going to be on board a space balloon, and it will lift to an altitude of 100,000 feet above sea level. If you're wondering, the cost per person is just a mere $495,000. And how about these Eggo waffle shoes? They come with a syrup drip design and a pouch for syrup as well. You can grab them in one of two color schemes. They come in Strawberry Delight or Chocolate Chip Brownie, and the sneakers will set you back about $150 a pair. They look good. They look fun. All right, that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and X. It's all Heather Sullivan, Fox 26. Let me know what's on your mind. And you'll find more ways to save every day on Sullivan Smart Sense on fox26houston.com. And we'll see you next time right here on Dollars and Cents.